Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Ginge and Pedro Show. Another. We're gonna call this one our ongoing Halloween, which just hasn't stopped.
Yeah, dude.
We
Like
had,
the energy is completely like out of character. Like we're getting ready for Christmas. We went back to October, but hey, so whatever works, man.
yeah, I know. We've had some horror themed guests. I should have booked them later in the year, but here we are. But
Yeah,
Halloween never stops, buddy. Let's not forget that, and especially with our
yeah.
guest. Another theme we're touching on, and maybe I'm being too bold here with this particular guest, but we've had some royalty on this show, my friend.
Mm.
Ryan Wen, the Ink King,
Yeah.
last week. Mike Barron, the Baron of
Yep.
Badassness,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And
Mm-hmm.
this week we've got, I think we'll call it classical vampire aficionado. I know Allie's a big old school vampire style fan. So we're going with Queen of the Damned. Allie Sanguis is joining us this week.
Nice.
Horror author, boom. Adding to the royal theme here. Hello, Allie. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say queen. I
Mhm.
like to say lady.
Lady.
Okay, lady.
Lady.
Nice.
I
How
almost went
about
with
countess?
Duchess.
Yeah, like a
Yeah,
duchess or a countess or
Duchess of
Or
Darkness.
mistress
mistress.
even.
Oh yeah.
CG's mistress of the dark I have
Mm.
been called.
Alrighty, very well.
And resident velociraptor.
Okay, how's life as a Velociraptor? Is it you guys are extinct mostly? There's a few still floating around. It seems.
It's more the clever girl thing.
Oh, that has happened to me several times
If
in
we're
my life.
talking about loving vampires, then
Mm-hmm.
there was an incident, uh, and it stapled me as the Anne Rice aficionado.
Hmm.
I
Hello,
would love to
cool
hear about
gamer.
that.
So,
Yes.
cool
Hello,
gamer.
cool gamer. Thanks for coming, buddy. Very cool.
Yeah.
Are
Wow.
you
Now, if you're
cool?
gaming, he's
Wait,
gaming
it's
for
in the
sure.
name.
We're
Oh,
not making fun of you.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah.
Anyways,
So and Rice aficionado. So
tell us
you're
about it.
more like Vampire Chronicles or Witching Hour?
Vampire Chronicles.
Awesome. Awesome.
The Witching Hour uh is kind of silly, like
Yeah, like
honestly.
the first book is good. Like Witching Hour is good, but like Taltos and the other one is just like I don't know what she's trying to do here, but
is
yeah,
is she? I mean, she wrote silly stuff sometimes, but
yeah,
Witching Hour is like her feminist thing, I think.
yeah,
Like a
completely.
feminist wet dream that like
Hmm.
they don't want to admit that they dream about,
Hmm.
because it's
Hmm.
like, why am I reading why am I reading about this weird like man baby that like
Yeah,
it's
like
very
it was.
strange.
Mm,
Yeah, it's a weird book, but the like I have to admit, like I enjoyed the first book. I actually did, but then it went off the rails.
Yeah, well, sucks, I guess. I don't know. I think a lot of the later stuff
Hmm.
uh, that she wrote was really affected by her son,
Yeah,
which is
and
why it's not nearly as good.
and she found religion too, which kind of like
Well, she
clash.
grew up religious. She went to school in
Yeah.
a convent,
Hmm.
but it did change a lot, and she had a lot of problems with her religion because of her son being gay, and it like
Hmm. Hmm.
was difficult for her to figure out how to balance that. You know,
mm-hmm.
whatever.
It happens.
I think the last like three uh vampire books were actually just mainly written by mostly him.
Hmm.
Mm.
I didn't know that. I've only I
I
think
think.
I got all the way up to Vampire Armand. Maybe that was the last one I read. And
Yeah, it's
I
not
was
really
on
even necessary to read further than that, honestly.
yeah.
Like
Hmm.
they just get silly.
Hmm.
And I say that as someone who like freaking loved her.
Yeah.
They're just like Lestat in Atlantis, like come on.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit silly. I'm not read in any of those books at all, but I've perused the Wikipedia, and I'm a fan of the movies, and I like Queen of the Damned actually. Even though some people have a mixed feeling about that movie, but it just came out at the right time for me, and the soundtrack is so groovy. It's like
Yeah, it's not a bad.
2000s.
It's not a bad soundtrack at all. Anthony and I are gonna do a video where we talk about that because we did our whole we did the whole series on the stupid TV show that they just made.
Yeah.
And people were saying like, oh well, Queen of the Damned movie is also not accurate to the book, and I'm like, yeah, but at least it's watchable. Like,
yeah. No, you know what I hated about that movie?
what?
That Halloween.
The what?
That Halloween, I saw so many ladies like dressed as Aaliyah, like the Queen of the
All right. Looking for their Lestat.
Stop it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Just come out and take me.
Is that like when Dark Knight came out, everybody was the Joker?
Yeah, exactly. That was the Joker, and it's sad.
It's sad.
I worked at a movie theater when the
like you don't want to see you don't want to see like Akasha Queen of the Damned like by the Cheeto Bowl, like having sipping from a solo cup. It's like no.
Yeah, that was it. When I worked at a movie theater, what's that last one that came out that Christopher Nolan did, like Dark Knight Rises or whatever?
Yeah.
There was a bunch of people dressed like the Joker, but they were all very large. Let's say we just had like a ton of fat Jokers walking around the theater. I just look at my buddy and I'm like, there's like that quote from the movie. It's like, you got a lot of fight in you. I like that, right? It's like I just looked at my buddy and I'm like, you got a lot of cheeseburgers. I like that.
I like that. You know, dude.
That's like seeing 5,000 Harley Quinns with blue and red pigtails, and you're just like, bleh.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah,
it's embarrassing. Oh, we have people. Guapo. El Sapo Guapo is here.
Yeah.
What's up, Eric? Thanks for coming, buddy. Chris Fisk. What's up, bro?
Christopher Fiskifer is here. Yeah, hi.
The Kingpin.
That's his government name.
Yeah.
Don't let it put you down, Chris. You got to go by the government name. Okay, Ali. So, Anne Rice is definitely, obviously, a big inspiration for you. But can we sort of rewind back to you as a youngster, as a young Wednesday Addams type? I'd imagine.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Okay, fair enough.
Swing and miss.
Could you talk about your just sort of creative journey as when it started, when you thought, when that first sort of tickle in your brain and said, "Ooh, I want to be creative." When was that?
So, do you know who Eric Carle was?
No.
So he was a writer. He wrote like The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Yes, I'm familiar with that book.
Okay.
Yeah, read that.
And he wrote a ton of kids' books in that same vein where he would do all the artwork and it all looks like that. We had to do a whole bunch of that in first grade. And that was when I thought, ooh, I could do this. I want to do this. And I went to my grandma's work a lot with her, and I would like hide underneath her desk. She was the front secretary at Promise Keepers, which is it's like a faith-based thing for men. And so her desk was like really big and long, and I would go underneath there and I would steal like Post-it notes, like whole things of Post-it notes, and I'd tape them together and then make a book out of that and just give them away. And I still have two of them. Well, my daughter has them now because she likes them, but I have one that is about a little butterfly who doesn't want to be a butterfly anymore. And he keeps trying to, like, he tries to be a fish, and the fish is like, hey, to be a fish, you have to swim. And of course he's a butterfly, so he can't swim. And, he finds a cat, and he's like, oh, maybe I can be a cat. And the cat says, like, oh, you have to meow to be a cat. And obviously, as a butterfly, he can't. And in the end, he decides that just being himself is the best.
I like it. Identity crisis done with stolen supplies.
Yeah.
Kind of book, yeah.
Stolen office supplies, absolutely.
Yeah. I like it. Chris Fisk has a question here. Promise Keepers, isn't that the no nookie ring that Mickey Mouse beat up the Jonas Brothers to promote?
I I don't know.
All right.
That's
So we're gonna miss another one.
Yeah.
Neo Star. Hey,
Hey, what's up, Neo Star?
Hello,
brother. A brilliant star that shines through the night. The surge of power that jumpstarts justice. Riser Man stands before you. You've. All right.
What? Say
No,
it.
I just.
Say it. You were joking on
I'm
it.
just sitting here imagining like the many hours of hard work spent in just like I feel like he's got like a whole Google document of just
Dude,
being able to fire these things off.
He has this for weeks, man. Like he is doing the whole like Darkwing Duck intro thing. Like every time I read, like I'm just hearing the Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, music. So yeah, dude.
When you're in trouble, you call DW.
Yeah, dude.
I like it.
That song has no business being as good as it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Darkwing Duck is just too cool to be a Disney show.
It is way too cool. That song could have been on the radio, just like on the radio to hear it.
Yeah, dude. And the things like all the characters from that series, they're like Gizmo Duck, freaking awesome.
And look at Christopher down there. Let's get dangerous.
Yeah, let's get dangerous.
I actually liked a lot of those like mid 90s Disney shows. It was all mostly spin-offs of the movies. I know people have mixed feelings, but Timon and Pumbaa, that show was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rescue Rangers. Rescue Rangers was cool. I never liked that show.
I like the Aladdin show.
I never
friggin'
liked
Animaniacs and like oh no. The name went away from me.
Freakazoid. I mean, if we're going Warner Brothers, we got like Animaniacs, Freakazoid, Pinky and the Brain. We got
but then there was Gargoyles.
Gargoyles.
Yeah.
Freaking Gargoyles. When Batman Beyond came out, I used to stare out at the Denver skyline that you could see from my grandma's house, and I would be like, "Oh, I hope." Like I would pretend it was Gotham. I'd be like, "Oh, I hope that he returns to me and is safe." Just pretend that like he was my boyfriend, even though I was like 6.
Yeah, dude. Like those shows, and the thing is, like you had those shows, and then you had in the 90s they were making shows not to sell toys, but just to celebrate animation. So you have shows like Cow and Chicken and what was another one? The one that started all was like when
there was Angry Beavers.
Angry Beavers. Yeah,
Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah.
Friggin' animation was crazy back then.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and Christopher's talking about Tailspin. Freaking Tailspin.
Mummy's Alive. Did you guys catch Mummy's Alive?
Yeah, Mummy's Alive. Yeah, Mummy's Alive was silly. That was a silly show. That like I don't know, like they were trying to do like a Thundercats with mummies, and it's just like dude, mummies are not cute. You know, Thundercats are cats, meow. You know, nice. Tiger sharks. Everybody loves sharks.
Street Sharks.
Street Sharks and
that was their name, right? The Street Sharks.
Silverhawks. No, it was Tiger Sharks.
Oh, was it? Okay. The Street Sharks. That's a local bicycle gang here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a Street Shark.
Yeah, they just ride bicycles.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not mean. They just ride bikes. Anyways.
Well, who doesn't want to ride their bicycle?
Yeah, speaking of cartoons, we got Davey. What's up, brother? Thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate that.
Yo.
Looks like we did some good here for Neo Star. We've all made his night, so our pleasure, buddy.
Oh gosh, wow. Yeah, it's only going downhill from here then.
You didn't know that was gonna happen, did you?
No.
Let's see. Mummy's Alive, Street Sharks, Captain and the
Game Master.
I did not see that one.
Oh, dude, that was a Captain Nintendo. It was a kid like with a red cap, like he wore it backwards, and he had like adventures in Nintendo Land.
Okay.
It was nice. It was a nice show.
All right. So, Allie, let's sort of zip back a little bit over here. Cartoons is always fun. I'm sure we'll get back to it even.
Yeah.
But so at what point did you sort of first start taking real steps? I mean, you'd even maybe call your earliest foray into being a writer with your sticky notes. But at what point did you actually make a committed effort to start writing? Because you've been at it for a while, if I'm understanding this correctly.
Oh, yeah. So when I was 12 years old, and I made my first friends, I put us all in a book. Well, because I was a friggin' loser. Like I got my ass kicked like all the time and stuff because I had really bad social anxiety.
Okay.
So like in school I would just cry for no reason, and even like boys kicked my ass because they didn't even care. So
Jesus.
yeah, so when I hit 11 years old, 6th grade, I moved again, and I thought I don't want to be that anymore. You know, I don't want to like be all hunched over and quiet and stuff. I was like, this is a new thing. It'll be middle school. I want to make sure I have friends. You know, I don't want to be alone. So I changed a lot about the way that I acted in the world. Just starting with like walking where I met people's eyes, trying to be more outgoing and stuff. And I made friends for the first time.
Oh, nice.
They were all the other losers, but it was like, sweet, I have friends. Well,
hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so I wrote us all into a book with our crushes.
Nice.
And that was the first finished book. Because like I started in 4th grade when I saw Harriet the Spy. And I was trying to do like a spy journal, but that didn't really work out. For obvious reasons. Because I was like 9.
What does a 9-year-old know about spycraft?
Yeah, pretty much. It was just like Harriet the Spy. But yeah, when I was 12, I sat down and I wrote this incredibly silly book all the way through, where it was all of my friends and I and our crushes, and it was kind of inspired by Secret Garden. But where it's like we were in, but it made no sense. Like there was a lot of stuff that made absolutely no freaking sense, and but my friends loved it. They were crazy about it, partially probably because they could tell who we all were, and you know, narcissism and all that. But like, I was like, wow, I actually am kind of good at this, even though this story is really poorly written and it makes no fucking sense. Because it's just full of holes. Maybe someday I'll do a reading of it, so that everyone can see the improvement that is insanely obvious. But I was like, man, I could do this. Like, people
That's
actually
really cool.
genuinely like it.
Yeah. So basically, you grab your anxiety and turn it into something really positive. Like, dude, because we all go through that. Like, I mean, I don't want to speak for James because James is a pimp, but dude, like, I've always been too big for my. I mean, when I was a kid, I was like 2 heads taller than everybody, and I was like Frankenstein's monster. Because everybody's like, they're like everybody's on the floor, and it was horrible.
That was
They
more
pointed
like
and called
Monster.
you a freak, Pedro.
Yeah, dude, that was
look at that freak over there.
Exactly. It's like, don't play with him; he'll crack your skull. And it's like, dude, like I just want to play with you guys. And
Christopher, I would never read Go the Fuck to Sleep. I hate that book.
Yeah.
I hate it.
What is that?
Yeah.
Is it scary or is it
No,
silly,
it's awful. It's like a book that somebody wrote that is like basically I don't know. I read part of it and it read as like, I hate my kids, like shut up and go to sleep, stupid jerk. And I was just like, I don't like that. That's awful. I'm not gonna read that.
Yeah, okay.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
But that book I'm talking about that I wrote when I was 12, I think it was 80 handwritten pages.
Wow.
And it was called Ashley's Love, which is absolutely the worst possible name ever of anything ever. But what I did was I took that and I thought recently, I was like, you know, I need something that my kid can read of my writing, because everything I write, I do not want her to ever read even after I die. I don't want her to know who I was. So
remember me as I was.
Yeah. Remember me as you thought I was. So I sat down and I looked at it and I was like, okay, the bones of this are really good. I'll treat this as a draft and I'll rewrite it as an adult who has an understanding of how to write things and get rid of all the plot holes, create it as more of a mystery, coming of age thing instead of weird, like, my friends and I trying to like dance with our crushes at masquerade balls, silly thing. And that became what is The Haunting of Bonneville Manor. That
Right.
is on its own Indiegogo.
Right.
Because I wanted to make sure that she had something she could read, and I test it on her friends. Like
Absolutely.
I'll give them, hey, I'm putting this in there. Does that sound fun? Hey, check out the trailer. Does it seem like it'd be interesting? So a bunch of 11-year-old girls super approve of it and think it's pretty great. And then I had Corey Barton.
Oh, nice.
Create the cover.
Very cool.
All right, the Barton Bros, great work over there. This is the Indiegogo right here. We'll go ahead and drop that in the chat here. Okay, go on. I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
Is there a trailer for this?
A trailer? Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
It says watch the video.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
Can y'all see it, or did I just?
Nope, it's there.
Very nice. Okay. Consider me titillated.
Yeah. Huh.
Hey.
Have you thought of turning this into a tabletop game?
No.
Like
Clue or something?
Yeah, it has all the vibes of like a tabletop game or
I mean, maybe. What I've done though is I decided that I would make it more than just a book that was like for reading. So I've tried to make it educational.
Awesome.
It takes place during World War I, the very beginning of World War I, in England. And this little girl who is an 11-year-old American girl is taken back in time to a mansion in England where a bunch of kids have been sent to protect them from the war. England used to do that.
Yeah.
And so they're all from different places. So a lot of them have, different views on what may or may not be happening. And then there's, some intrigue. And then one of the kids is just a straight up sociopath.
Nice. That's always needed.
Yeah. And what I'm gonna do is I did a lot of reading of really old sci-fi, some of the earliest sci-fi.
Okay.
From like the 1900s, the late 1800s, because it's a relatively new genre. Yeah. And I found that there were so many classics that nobody knows about, that are brilliant and inventive, and including one sci-fi about time travel that was written for children by a woman.
Right on.
Called The Story of the Amulet, and it's 3 books. And so I bought them, And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do is I'll include in the back a list of these books so that kids can go back and read them. And then I ended up making sure that when I was writing where all these kids were from, I knew, they all have a reason why they're there. So it's like, the first bombing Germany did over London was what sent a couple of the kids out in the first place. And then that created an opportunity to have a chapter at the end of the book where it's like talking about Zeppelins, talking about all that stuff. Because like, who even knows what World War I was about today? Anybody?
I mean, not even they did. It was like Croatia and Serbia are in trouble. So Croatia is with Hungary, and Serbia is with France, and if you hit them, we'll hit you. It was very weird. Like, I try to understand that period of time, like why that working about, and I always come up with new answers every time I look into it. So yeah, it's a very weird period in time.
The crazy thing that you have to realize when you talk about war from then, like pre-modern warfare.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't even call that modern warfare, just because it was so. It was still so like
people on horses in World War I still.
Yeah.
And the tactics, like they were not ready for the machine gun.
Definitely tactics. The thing is, like, it's crazy how close everyone had to be because they still didn't have very far range weaponry. So no man's land is 100 yards.
Yep.
The enemy's right freaking there.
Yeah, like you can hear them singing. You can smell their food. It was weird.
Yeah, and watching the movie 1917, which is crazy brilliant.
Yeah.
Especially the way that it was filmed, where it was, I think they had like 3 cuts and that's it.
Yeah.
But they set it up to be accurate, and that's why he crosses no man's land in like 7 minutes or something. But it's like 7 minutes of complete terror.
Yeah.
Because they're right there. And I didn't even realize how close everything had to be.
And they're trying new things. Like England, we came up with the tank. What? We got chlorine gas. What's that? It's just like, dude, like,
all sorts of crazy stuff. Christopher's saying, my dad told me of how his parents' family was forced out of the city as a kid in England during World War II. I was ecstatic when I saw bedknobs and broomsticks. Yeah, exactly. They did that all the time. Bedknobs and broomsticks.
What does that mean?
What does what mean?
Bedknobs and broomsticks. Just that's what you're bringing with you, or I've never heard that.
It's a movie.
It's a movie, man.
Okay, no, I've never seen it.
It's an old movie with that chick from Murder, She Wrote.
Oh yeah, spent a lot of time watching her as a kid.
It's a musical.
Nothing sexual, Pedro. My grandma's favorite show.
Yeah, she's hot.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
They use I haven't seen it in a long time, but like they climb on this bed and they use it to like fly around through time or something.
All right. So is that what this one of these stretch goals over here? These wand looking instruments?
It's a possible for it.
It's a bookmark.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I see.
That glows in the dark. I was trying to think like, yes, Corey, it is a wonderful cover.
Hey, what's up, Corey? Coming by, buddy.
Hey, what's up, Corey?
And he did a great job on it. He did exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
And he was really patient with me when like we were trying to figure it all out. It's great.
I mean, it's beautiful. So yeah, dude. Like if you have like a specific image in your mind and you convey to your artist, and the results are this, time well spent.
Well, I wanted it to look like the art of that time, like Edwardian era book plates and stuff.
Yeah, the hatching. Yeah,
the hatching. Exactly.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It looks almost like engraving. Like when you did like engraving on metal, like that's
Yeah,
it looks
Yeah,
like that though.
he did it perfectly.
very
Mhm.
nice.
Awesome.
Exactly what needed to happen. I can pull up the actual thing so you can see the whole image.
If you'd like, yeah, that'd be great.
I'm doing that right
And in the
now.
meantime, Angela Lansbury was a legend. Oddly enough, she was a staunch supporter of video games and VR. She even had an episode of Murder She wrote about it. Wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah, it was my
that's
grandma's favorite show growing up, and as a kid,
Angela,
I watched.
okay, James. Between Angela Lansbury and the Golden Girls, who's your favorite old chick?
Well, I mean, I was just saying, I spent a lot of time watching or not the Golden Girls. I've never really watched the Golden Girls. I spent a lot of time watching Murder She Wrote with my grandma,
You
though.
heathen.
And I used to call her Granny She Wrote as a kid. So I think just on the strength of that, I probably got to go with Angela Lansbury. But a special nod to the Golden Girls as sort of like comedians in a sense. I mean,
Yeah.
they are funny. Yeah, bunch of old birds.
B. Arthur.
Yeah, B. Arthur. Yeah.
Yeah.
Betty White's the other one. Who's
Yeah. Betty White and the other one. I wasn't.
Here we go, Allie. Sorry about that. Very
There
nice.
you go. Oh, look at that, dude.
Yeah.
Let's pull that up. Rock and roll.
This is gonna be the whole cover, but you can see Corey's artwork.
Yeah.
Much better.
Oh man.
Did you remember those books like Choose Your Own Adventure?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, dude, it's giving me that vibe. Like I don't know. There's like a gamifying essence to this whole project. I don't know why it's taking me there. I'm sorry. That's not.
Let it take you there, buddy. Go there.
But yeah, like I consider like a really nice like tabletop game or.
I mean, if it was done in like a Clue sort of way, that would be cool, I guess. But I would need it to be educational as well.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, it's your project. I'm just like shooting from the hip of what I see. Like,
yes, Chris.
My word.
So Chris said he loves the motif that it reminds him of Masterpiece Theater. The art that I sent Corey that I was like, I want it to look like this. It was a lot of Edward Gorey stuff. And he did a lot of the Masterpiece Theater animation and stuff.
Rock and roll.
And he was like really into doing, you know, cross-hatching stuff from the Edwardian period. And that's what I sent Corey. I was like, I want basically this. And he came back with, I think, 3 or 4 ideas. And this one won out, and it was perfect. I sent him like I sent him a lot of stuff, and he did exactly perfectly.
Yeah.
Corey says these clouds took a while, and that's actually one thing I wanted to hop in and say. It's just how really fantastic the shading is on those clouds and the moon, everything right around the top there. Really,
how
really great.
Framing
and check out this tree, dude.
Watch out for that tree. Sorry.
Are you going to color it at any point, you think, in the future?
Maybe. I don't know. I like it like this quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't color it. I wouldn't color it at all.
And then it's got the boy as a ghost inside the clock.
All right.
He even did
Casper there, maybe.
Yeah, he even did like the detail on this clock is freaking great. Like I sent him a picture of a clock because I was like, it has to be this Edwardian style of clock. You know, it has to like all be period accurate. Because my hope is that like you know, a historian who sees it isn't going to be like, oh, that's thing.
Just leave you a bad review on Amazon. Well, it was a good book, but the art wasn't actually accurate to the time.
Yeah, that would drive me insane.
There's always one.
Hail, William.
Yep, William Pace. Thanks for coming by, buddy.
He's using my real name. That's funny.
Yeah, Corey did great. So yeah, I'm gonna have a timeline in there with relevant information, and then a list of books. I'm hoping that all of that stuff that's like peppered in through the book, because I've been really careful to sort of make it so a kid's gonna learn stuff without knowing they're learning stuff.
Yeah.
And then the end will be supplemental to where they can just like look it up and be like, well, if you want to read more stuff like this, go ahead and read this. Because the little girl in the book, you know, she's back in World War I. She and she's from 1998. I did that because that's when I was 11, so it was easier for me. She has to go to the library, and she's like, okay, I'm going to try and figure out how to get back to my time. How do I do that? And her first thought is, well, I guess I'll read books about, you know, sci-fi and see if I can figure out some sort of idea. Because she sees ghosts, and she's like, well, if ghosts are real, you know, people have written about ghosts, then most likely other things are real, other things are possible. Obviously, I've traveled through time, you know, so that's what she does. She goes to the library and she reads all these classics. And so like I named them in the book, and then I'm going to list them all in the back of it. And hopefully what I want to try and do is get a grant, an educational book grant, and that'll make it so I can get more perks for it. Because I was like, man, I want to make this, because ultimately, right, I'm selling to parents.
Gotcha.
This book is Inuyasha. I love Inuyasha, Christopher.
Yeah.
Sit boy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not that though. Not even close. But I want to make sure that a parent is going to look at this and they're going to see, like, I'm getting more than just a book that my kid can read. Like,
Gotcha. Yeah.
I want to do the bookmark, but there was other stuff that I wanted to try and do as well. And I've shown all of it to my kid and her friends, who are like between, because it's for ages 10 through 13. They're all about that age. And they all think it's really cool. One girl, it was funny because I told her, I was like, oh, here's the glow-in-the-dark bookmark. And she's like, oh, I've always wanted a bookmark.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, well, you know.
Now's your chance. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I thought, well, how
Like,
can I make it?
Yeah.
How can I make it like cool? You know, last longer, more than just a little paper thing. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'll just look and I'll find a glow in the dark bookmark.
Nice.
And that way it's like, oh, going through stars, you know, time travel, like it'll be pretty. A Polly Pocket playset, maybe.
Yeah.
A Lego style.
Yeah, what's really exciting me of this project is that you're really documenting yourself, and like the world building is based on history, and it will stimulate kids to investigate. It reminded me when I read for the first time in the Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco, and I was too young to read that book. It's a very complicated book, so I have to have like an encyclopedia right next to the book to understand what's happening. But through reading that book, they made reading other books easier.
Yeah.
So grounding your book in history that would stimulate kids to just investigate. Like, dude, you're doing God's work here. Like, I like it a lot.
And if there was ever a time to learn from the past,
it's now. Yeah, exactly.
Very nice. Yeah, I like it.
More than just like, oh, Nazis. Like, there's more. You know,
there's more than that. You got Huns. You got Mongols. There's all the horrible people. Like, I don't know.
And
if the Mongols come back,
yeah,
oh God, we're screwed.
I tried to throw in like some lessons on friendship and stuff, because basically in the end it turns out that the thing that she needs to get back home is the same thing that her friend needs to put his soul to rest. Okay. So in the end, he has to sacrifice, 100 years, but for her it's only moments. But he has to wait in this mansion, and she has to weigh that guilt, because his soul can't be put to rest until she gets back to her future. And that takes moments for her, but it's it's his soul haunting for 100 years.
Wow.
Ooh. Okay. I like that though. So
That's
she travels back to her time, and do they end up together, or is that spoiling it? I mean,
What? No, they're just friends.
I don't think that's
They're 11.
oh, my bad. Sorry.
They're just
dirty,
11.
You
No,
dirty man.
No, I'm sorry.
They're
No, it's a very
11. They're
hard
11,
Yeah.
and he's
story.
dead.
I mean, you
so
can feel the
Yeah.
okay.
Exactly. They're going like underage necrophilia, James.
Wow.
Get a
All
grip.
right. Thanks, Pedro. Appreciate
Yeah.
that, brother.
throw him under the bus.
You could have helped me out there, but all right.
Well, no, dude. No, we have to put the
I
phone
will
down.
check that. Check that away. Leo Star says, I used to listen to cassette tapes to books while I read them when I was younger. My reading comprehension was so good that I was already reading dialogue boxes in RPG games and comic book titles.
Nice.
All right. Very nice. Similar to reading the shampoo bottles while pooping. I'm sure we all remember that.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's always it's like, what's that for the stomach sleeping? Yeah.
All right. So Chris Fisk, every civilization was built by awful people.
Exactly.
There we go.
Exactly. Like, dude.
Oh my god.
Freaking
They
Julius
would
is
like
another
that
nice
too.
guy.
Friggin' weirdos.
Yeah.
What's the next Haunted Mansion reboot, sadly?
Stop it.
Yeah.
I know. That's such a beloved franchise. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's I do have a question for you. We have to keep the show at an hour, so we do want to talk about Egg Beater for sure.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, sorry. I kind of like went on and on about
it.
it.
It's been awesome.
We're having fun.
We're having
thank you for coming.
It's related. There's a comic book artist who did the cover, guys.
Great, absolutely. So I guess we should just sort of move to that. But one thing briefly, I guess it's really not even a brief topic. We have to keep it an hour. Shit. Okay. No, I wanted to talk to you about marketing your book, because you seem to be all over the place. You've got a Wix account, or a Wattpad. You're on Amazon, if I'm correct, or you also have your own website. Could you talk a little bit about just your thoughts when and where to push your book and how that's going for you?
I don't have my own website. I'd like to, because I'd like to get off Wattpad. Because more and more Wattpad is kind of filled with like horrible, degenerate, like weird romance.
The deviant art of writing.
Yeah. Actually, that is a perfect way to put it. And it feels like it's devaluing like my excellent prose. So
hey, fair enough. I mean, there's something to that.
Yeah,
Putting your book around, sort of the right marketplace. Honestly, there's a lot to be said about that.
Yeah, Egg Beater's not on there because you can't really put pictures on there. Egg Beater's only thing right now is just on Indiegogo.
Speak of the devil.
There it is.
So how long has this mailing list going over?
Let me go look right now.
Yeah, because the things like I think like you could lose it if you don't like renew it or save it, because it's like 6 months. Like I heard something about that. Like you can really go long.
I think that's Kickstarter. I think you get a good. Yeah, I think you only get 6 months with Kickstarter. I think you get
Oh, I thought you were asking me how many addresses I had.
No. That's
no,
just like how long has it been going?
So Chris Fisk asked a very salient question. What's that, Allie? You don't want your book on the same virtual shelves as Sonic Inflation Pregnancy Porn.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know.
That is accurate. Or like the weird BTS vampire.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So bad.
Biting genitals. No, not my thing.
Biting genitals.
It's something.
It
I can
passes
tell
the time.
you exactly.
Let's see what you
If
did
I
there.
can go back in time, October 1st, 2021. So a little over a year.
Okay.
It's been up. My emails are up to 236 addresses collected.
Awesome.
more every day because I checked a few days ago and it was 233.
All right.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I've been trying to bust my butt.
Bam.
This is some concept art. We've done a lot more now at this point. I believe we have 12 pages that are totally completely drawn and done and everything.
Awesome. How many pages are you like aiming at for this book?
About 30 something,
Okay.
depending on if I add more stuff. Because I have added more. It started out as 24, but I added more.
Yeah.
So, Allie, is this the project you and Vic King are doing, or is this another Vic?
This is not a Victor and I book.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
The Victor book is Alizon. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, that's
Egg
the
Beater.
width.
My artist for Egg Beater is named Vinny Scatina. This will be his first book.
Oh, awesome.
All right. Very nice. How'd you meet Vinny?
I was on we were both on a Facebook group that had like horror art, and he posted my dog just opened the door. Hold on, I gotta close it.
Oh, you're good. I love the setup. The Punisher mixes with Gordon Ramsay.
He posted
deliciously horrifying splash.
Picture that he did of Cyborg Superman, and I really liked it.
Very
so nice. Oh, hey DP and wife.
I'm looking forward to this book. When can we back it, Allie? You got some biters here.
Yes, I know. Yeah, and so I wrote him and I was like, hey, I like your style. Would you be interested in ever doing anything like sequential, like an entire book? And he was pretty pumped, and we kind of got together and pushed it around and made all the necessary agreements for pricing and everything. And yeah, that was not last year, but the year before that we first started that process. Although I had the idea for Egg Beater since about 2006. And
wow.
but it was supposed to be a movie. But I realized the movie was probably never going to happen just because it'd be too expensive. So I was like, you know what? It needs to happen though. So I'm going to make it a comic.
A great option, honestly. Comic books.
Yeah, and I mean it's pretty easy to translate comic to movie, movie to comic. So I did take the script and rework it into like from movie to comic. Which required a lot of condensing. Because whereas with a camera you can just say like, oh, sweep all over the whole forest, like do whatever you want. I had to knock all that down and be a little more precise, which hurt, but it needed to happen because you can't really say like, oh, just draw like a big thing of the forest. It's like people are gonna be like, what is this? It's slowing down the pages. It would feel like a filler page.
Right. Yeah. Just this sort of in between scenes. I've got a short that Pedro and I did called Raising Cain, a horror thing that like it's just 12 pages, but the setup feels a lot like the first 15 minutes of a movie. So looking at it, but we created it as a comic originally, but I sort of see the reverse with that book. It's like if I were to film this as a movie, the only thing I'd really need to plug in is like, those sort of panning in between shots that you can't do in a comic. So I feel you.
And Egg Beater is going to be filled with puns. I've got Hockey doing the trading cards because he has like a really dark sense of humor. And the trading cards are going to be recipes since Egg Beater was a baker.
Yeah.
So it's going to be recipes for death. The first one is scrambled brains.
Are you a cook? like do you like to cook at home a lot just for fun, or I mean obviously for food as well? But I see the Gordon Ramsay element. Like I grew up watching pretty much all of his shows. It was just something we did for fun at the house.
Yeah,
Are you an actual fan of chefs or?
No, actually, I only have that part up there because Mo Biggs mentioned it.
Okay.
I didn't.
Good sales line though.
He thought of it, and that's what I kind of thought too. Allie with the Aussie connection. Yeah. I've got. I do have an Aussie
friends
connection
down under.
again. I've got Hockey and Corey.
I got friends in low places. Allie's got friends in low places.
In low places, joys and koalas.
And I have an alternate cover that I'm calling the VHS cover.
Oh, nice.
Nasty.
It does look like an 80s film.
All right.
Dog, open my door again.
See, meet the demon baker of sweet treats, a Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
That was another thing that Mo Biggs thought of, actually.
The only musical
the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. I was like, oh no, it's too perfect.
Yeah, it's the only musical I can stomach. I hate musicals.
It's among the best of them, I'd say. I mean, for most dudes.
I wasn't gonna do an alternative cover, but then somebody on Twitter said, "Oh, you should design one like a VHS thing," and I was like, "Oh man, now I have to do that," and so I did it.
Yeah, I can see like my teenage peach fuzz, really long arms, 16-year-old self renting this movie at the video club. Just it looks, it looks legit. I like it.
Yeah, it's got that 80s, sort of over the top premise for a horror movie that was very big at the time. It
started out sillier where I had like panels and stuff, but then someone was like, "Allie, that looks kind of silly," and I was like, "Okay, you're right." So I spent.
Do you do all the design, or is that all you? Or
well, my artist drew this, and then drew this, and then drew this, but I put it all together.
Yeah.
All right.
You did the composition.
And this is actually this is taken from a panel in the book. This is not from a panel. This is from the very first thing that he that my artist finished. And then the cross pins down here, I'm gonna put the cross pins on a bunch of merch and stuff. Am I getting ready to launch? Yes. All that needs to happen is the trailer's getting finished. Once the trailer is finished, which is going to be freaking epic, it is filled with puns, then I will launch it. But I want to make sure I have that trailer. That 30-something second trailer that I can show.
Yeah. Good to have on launch day, for sure, to help generate that excitement.
Yeah, I'm gonna have magnets and cards, and I'm designing this little doll thing that I'm gonna hand make, and then some wooden spoons that I'm gonna burn the cross pins onto. I've got hats and aprons and
oh no.
What?
Wooden spoons? Really?
Yeah.
My mom used to beat me with those.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, a lot of kids are going to get beat with these spoons. But
exactly.
Hail, Felix.
It had a name.
Yeah, what's up, Felix? Thanks for coming by, buddy. Appreciate that.
Magnets.
Yeah. I think that just got 80s made consumers' attention. Hello.
Yeah. I have one cover that Dean James designed.
Nice.
Right.
The magnets, I call them beater buddies. Those are by 6 a.m. Let's see. Maybe I can pull up Dean's cover.
Bob says, "Yeah, giving out instruments of corporal punishment." I mean,
Yep.
this might become
Well,
a parent's
obviously.
favorite book and a
Yes,
kid's
ever.
worst nightmare. So
Exactly.
I'll show you Dean's cover. He's pretty proud of it. Dean James made
let's go, Dean
his.
James.
Another Aussie, right?
Yes, sir. The
Mhm.
Austin connection.
Yeah.
It's in full swing here.
This is a close up. This isn't the finished cover, because it obviously doesn't have the title on it yet. But this is the clean cover.
All right.
It also is going to be on magnets. I already have those magnets.
Works as a print too, I think. Just throwing that out there. Very nice.
I mean, well, if people don't want it as a cover, then I'll just do it as a print. But he said I could do whatever I wanted, so I'm gonna do whatever I wanted. But he liked that he had, or I liked that he had the egg dripping into the mouth.
Yeah.
And I freaking like love this fly. I'm just crazy about this fly, so I might make another magnet just of the fly.
Of the fly, yeah.
Yeah, so cute.
I love that design. Yeah.
Yeah, this is solid. Dean James knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
Chris says, Dean, yet another Aussie. Ali is really the head of the Aussie mob.
Yeah, dude. So much
the Aussie mob
community. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 6 a.m.'s Beater Buddy magnets. I've got all those as well.
Very nice.
The Beater Buddy sounds like an 80s cartoon too.
The Beater Buddy.
Great style for that.
Dude.
Name for that art style.
Isn't he cute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a little video where I put a bunch of them on my fridge.
Nice.
With this like silly rap song called Egg Beater that I found. I was like, it's very silly, but I thought it was cool because like,
hey, if it works, it works.
Beat me.
Nice.
Right there. I was like, he's so cute. I love him.
Yeah, this is a very solid premise. Yeah. All like the whole thing, all the artwork, the setup, the execution, everything you're doing along with it. I mean,
yeah, dude. The thing is, like the character is very distinctive. It reminds me of those like 80s, early 90s, horror films. They're like Jason, Freddy Krueger.
It's so important to nail that look. It's like having an iconic villain is like almost more powerful than anything in horror.
Yeah, exactly. Like the thing is, like the character becomes even bigger than the movie. You can see like Jason or Freddy Krueger anywhere. So Egg Beater has like that kind of pedigree. Like I like it a lot.
So this is Hockey's art.
Nice.
I don't know if this is gonna be the final coloring because I'm not sure I like it because I did the coloring. I might not have that. But this was me attempting to color. But this is the Scrambled Brains trading card.
Very nice.
I don't but obviously like it's gonna look like a trading card. But it's a recipe card, so it'll have like how to create this recipe. I just loved he like included like I included mucus and everything. I was like, it's gonna be gross.
Yeah.
And he's just like so excited. I think it's funny. He kind of made it look like him though. Like it kind of looks like Hockey.
There's like, some subliminal messaging going on there.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's doing that self-insert.
Can't help it sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit.
We've got Felix Haas. This is going to be good. I honestly agree. This is a really exciting project.
Yeah,
I agree. not to sound
go ahead.
Like
narcissistic.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's looking great. Yeah.
Eric Boyd, rather. Hello, Lady Allie. Howdy, fellows.
Hello, Eric.
Mighty chat. Thanks for coming by, Eric.
Reminding Chris of Hannibal. Nice.
Yeah.
And then here's a better view of the Crosspins logo. And that my artist Vinny, he just like came up with that.
I like it.
Very iconic.
Yeah, he because Egg Beater has the 2 pins that he has on his back, like samurai swords, so that he can pull them up and out. Yeah, exactly. And just like slam them around people's heads and stuff, or choke people out with them.
Nice.
Whatever. So yeah, that I'm gonna put on. Well, I have a hat already, but I'm gonna put it on aprons and stuff. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Like the thing is, like the images that are being conjured in my head just by watching like the spins and how he kills like with kitchen utensils. Like I imagine him like spin rolling like somebody's eyes out and brains like just
exactly
dude.
that noise too. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. No,
Get
no,
it,
I
Derek
really like
Boyd. Get
it.
some blood meringue and egg beater today.
Blood meringue, yeah.
Is it meringue or meringue? I don't know.
Meringue.
I
Meringue might
think
be
it's
something
meringue.
else. It is
It's meringue. Yeah,
Lemon
merengue. Merengue is
Yeah.
the Dominican music.
Hey, do some of that too.
Yeah, that's different.
Okay. Death Pusher says, "I want a big shirt. I want that on a big shirt. Absolutely.
Yep,
That's
yep, yep, yep.
those pins. I'm assuming.
I made my artist shirt that has big cross pins on it as a gift. I was like, here you go. Thank you
Very
for being
nice.
awesome.
Yeah, you should have that on the campaign. Like that, people will wear it. I will wear that.
Yeah.
Works for branding. Just when
I
you can
hope
like
so.
repurpose things for branding like that. You know what I mean? That would make a good sticker, or just like Freddy Krueger's claws. You know what I mean?
Claws,
Just
yeah, like it'll be like the rolling pin.
Yeah. I love it so much because it has that it seems to have that automatic thing where people go into it and they're like, this would be really cool if we did this. Like that's
it's
I hope
iconic.
even Hart Fisher, he said that it seemed like a good idea too when he was on and I was talking about it. So when it's done, he even said like send me the comic and I'll read it. And I was just like, oh, now I have to do it.
Who is Hart Fisher, if I may?
Hart Fisher, he made comics. He's been making comics since the early 90s. He made the Jeffrey Dahmer comic.
Jeffrey Dahmer comic book.
Oh,
okay. Among other things. He's worked with Boob Dan.
All right.
He's been around a long time. He's done horror stuff. He has his own horror TV channel and everything.
Oh.
He was on EBS's show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he was on mine too.
Yeah.
Because he's re-releasing the Dahmer comic because Netflix stole it, basically.
Yeah, for their new show. Okay, I heard about that. I didn't know he was pretty much in our community, hanging around, doing work even.
Not like in the community. He's like adjacent. But he's cool. Like he's
cool. Super cool, yeah. He just chilled on my I think my show with him was like 5 hours. Nice. People are saying that he made EVS nervous.
Yeah.
All right. So, Allie, we are at an hour here, and this is where we sadly have to part ways for this episode. But you are absolutely welcome back. There's really hardly got to. Yeah, we only touched on a few things. So,
I know. I'm sorry. I do too much.
No, dude, I mean, I feel like we have so much to talk about. We would love to have you back. So let's reschedule.
Absolutely not. No.
No.
Ayo. Oh, come on.
But I can.
Boob Dan, egg beater. Just throw some titties on that thing. What do you think?
Yeah.
No, here I can throw out one thing from Boob Dan. Actually, here, check this out as the final thing.
All right, let's do it.
Boob Dan Plagle drew this, which is me on an egg beater, and it is quite possibly the only time he's ever drawn a woman without boobs.
Yeah, but the egg beater like blades look kind of like boobs, so it's in character with boob. Dan.
I wonder if you spin the image in a way there's like boobs drawn in there somewhere hidden. You just have to look.
That's as close as anybody's ever gonna get.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your Boob Dan egg beater.
Crossover.
Right. Very nice. Okay, awesome. So I full screened that.
What are you doing?
Okay. I don't know. All right. So Allie, thank you so much again for joining us today. Really appreciate your time, and good luck with the campaign for sure. Definitely when it actually launches, you're welcome to come back and do this all over again.
Oh, I'll definitely probably run myself ragged, get it going everywhere that I possibly can.
All right.
Because I just love talking about it way too much.
Yeah, it's an awesome looking project, so it deserves to be talked about. So.
Oh my gosh, the trailer is gonna be so freaking great.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, Ali, I'm going to bump you to the back real quick. If you want to hang out for a second, we'll be right there with you, or you're free to head, part ways. But we will be ending the show real quick. Pedro.
What?
Pedro Eng, tell me something good. Give me some good news, buddy. We had a bunch of horror this episode.
Well, some good news. Okay, I'm starting page 4 of Waifus and Kaijis.
Okay.
I'm drawing my ass off, dude. 2022 was good. 2023 is gonna be amazing on the front. This gentleman over here and me, and dude, like I'm getting hit by a lot of people who want to work with me. So I don't know, this whole thing about like the industry is destroying itself. Like I don't feel it on this neck of the woods, man. It's nothing but blue skies. Let's keep on working. Let's keep creating. Let's keep it indie, guys.
All right, I like it, Mr. Blue Skies, Pedro Eng.
Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff. We do have a Kickstarter and sign up. I have that link in the YouTube channel. Let me drop that real quick. Yeah, we would appreciate if everybody popped on over and gave us a sign up on that for Tropical Magics.
Tropical Magic Second Chance.
Yep. There we go. Okay, guys. So next week we have Jeremy Thévenot. I believe I pronounced that correctly. Another Florida native. I didn't even mention that, but there we go. We're getting real Florida man up in this thing, Pedro. I hope you're ready, buddy. Next week may or may not be insane too for this show. I'm still really having to weigh it out to see what I'm going to do, but stay tuned for next week. We're going to have some fun. But okay, guys. Yep. So on that note, yes. Oh, you may or may not see. I don't know yet. Sort of coming down to the wire on a decision I have to make.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll find out next week on the Ginger Pedro Show.